So I just finished Divergent like 2 seconds ago, and so I've taken a few days to collect my thoughts. They're still not very collected, to be honest. And my mom is on the phone outside, in case you hear her. But I'm gonna go ahead and give a little summary about this. Let's see, is there one in here? Okay, I'll just make it up. So basically, there's this girl, and her name's Beatrice. This is a dystopian novel, and there are factions in her society, and you can be either abnegation, dauntless, erudite, amity, or candor. That's the other one. Beatrice is from abnegation, and when you're 16 you get to choose what faction you want to go to. So you take this simulation test and it tells you what faction you should go to, but you can still choose your own choice. But if you do, you're frowned upon and you'll never see your family again. Anywho, so Triss is trying to just look up your own summary. I give up. Obviously, this book is fangirl worthy. I read this book in about a day and a half. I don't even know where to start other than to say that this book hurts. It's torture. And it's going in my top 10 favorites. It's been a while since I've read a book this good that just makes me fangirl and freak out. Like literally reading the book. This is why I can't read books in public, because I just get so invested in the book. I can't stop my reactions. Am I the only one? If I do try to stop, I usually make a face that looks like I'm in between having to sneeze and being constipated. I don't really know. Anyway, so after this point there's probably going to be spoilers. I'll try to be not as spoilery as possible, but if you haven't read the book, just don't watch the rest of this. I give this book a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it, and if you haven't read it, go read it. If you haven't read it, go read it now. And come back to me in about a day, because that's all it's gonna take you to read it. And my mom is currently reading it, and she's a slow reader, I think. Don't tell her I said that. And she's already like right there. So go read it, come back, and I'll tell you what I think. So I'm going to start with the characters. First of all, Triss. She's a beast. She is freaking beast. Wow. She's relatable, but she's still strange enough to be interesting. Like, she's not just your plain average Mary Jo from the town. She's pretty cool, and she's very interesting, and her mind is very interesting how it works. And she's not just plain old Jano, she's pretty cool, which is why she's divergent, obviously. If any of that made sense. And next on my list is 4. You know what I found funny when I first started reading the book and it mentioned 4? I was like, oh my gosh, I just did a review complaining about how this guy's name is a number and it just drove me nuts. I thought that was funny because right now I would rather call him 4 because, okay, so Divergent is great. Arrested Development is great. But don't watch Arrested Development before reading Divergent, or you will laugh your head off at things that are not supposed to be funny. I laughed so hard for so many times. It took a long time to get used to it. But I'm used to it now. It's not as bad, but I just laughed so many times. I loved Beatrice's family. I love her dad, I love her mom, and I love Kayla. I missed my finger. Caleb! I especially really loved her mom. I don't know, it's been a while since I've read a book that has a really good mom character. I think the last book that I read that has a good, strong mother that you love was Percy Jackson. Always love it when there's a really good mom. Just makes me happy. Caleb, he was a little boring at first. I didn't really think much of him until he transferred to Erudite, and then I was like, what even? I loved the friend characters. They made sense as friends, and it just seemed natural, which made it really easy to get into and really love all the characters, because everything just seemed, even though it was a world that we don't live in, it was very easy to relate to, because the people were still people, even if society tried to classify them as a certain group. They were still their own individuals, and I think that was great to be able to relate to, and I just really loved I loved all the characters in this. Also, the villains. I hate them a lot, and they're perfect. Peter, hate you. I just want him to die. The end. Cracker. What's the lady's name? Janine. Janine. She's evil. Wait, the villains were really good. They were really easy to hate, and they were really well written, because you know what I mean. Veronica Roth is an amazing writer. She is awesome. She did an amazing job, and I am very looking forward to reading the rest of Divergent. Anyway, Veronica Roth is really good at making you feel everything. Like, this is the kind of book that just kind of captures you. It takes hold of you, and it drags you through the story. It makes you feel happy, it makes you laugh, but it also drags you down through the sorrow and the muddy pits of and I cried a lot. There were a lot of times where my mouth just tears. This is one of those books where you read something and it shocks you or hurts you, or you feel it so much that you just have to stop and breathe for a second, because it's like, did that really just happen? Just makes you bleh. Veronica Roth, you're an amazing writer. Props to you. I don't really have any complaints other than the unnecessary making out. I was like, okay, that wasn't really necessary. This is just getting a little bit uncomfortable here. It wasn't constantly interrupting the plot and just being too romantic in weird random places. They were going a little too far for my personal taste. I'm just like, okay, this is getting uncomfortable. I don't want to read about that. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I could have done without it. Just saying. I am really nervous for the movie, because so much happens in this book. I mean, you saw how thick it was. I mean, so much happens. And how are they going to fit that in a movie? What are they going to have to cut out? I don't want them to cut out anything. Of course, that's how it is with every book, but I'm just really nervous about what they're going to cut out, and maybe even who they're going to cut out. I looked at the cast list and it didn't seem like they were going to cut out anyone, but they could cut out some of the conversations that show their personality and everything. I'm really hoping that Shailene surprises me. Really hoping. But it can't be worse than Percy Jackson, right? I don't have anything else to say other than I love this book. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Comment below if you want to add anything else, or ask or request another book for me to read, whatever. I'll see you later, and bye!